All right, welcome back. You know what? You may have heard about mindless eating and the concerns that that can bring, but have you ever heard of distracted eating? I know that I have not, but I'll tell you who has, this person right here. This is Kara Swanson, our nutritionist, here to talk about it. So I guess the first thing I would say when we're talking about mindless eating versus distracted eating, what exactly is the difference?
Yeah, so they're very similar, but mindless eating is when you're just not paying attention to what you're eating, how much you're eating, or even why you're eating. So it could be because you're bored or you're stressed or you're just standing in front of the fridge and you're like, oh, okay, I'm just like grabbing some, something to eat without actually intentionally, being aware of it. And then distracted eating is when you're doing something else. So you got the TV on, you're looking at the phone, you're working at your desk.
So is that kind of like, I think there are certain events that even while we may not be hungry, we feel like we just have to eat as part of these things?
Yeah, I think TV is a great example of that. How many people just associate, oh, I'm watching TV, I need a snack, right? And so that's something that has just become a habit. And so you just have to rewire of like, oh, I can sit here and just enjoy the show without eating something, because you really are mindlessly eating when you're watching something else. And that's when you get to the end of the chip bag and you're like, wait, how did I eat all this?
Yeah.
You're not even getting to enjoy it either.
And I would even be willing to say this. I think that there are certain programs that may kind of channel it a little bit more. I think about when people are watching sports. Okay, well then that means I want to get some wings or I want to get, whatever else. And
movies, popcorn,
movies,
candy,
And especially, let's say if you got like a long movie, like we're talking about Pearl Harbor. I was just thinking about Pearl Harbor for some reason today.
Yes.
But with how long that movie is, I might be eating throughout. So how do you break those kind of habits?
Yeah, so you can start with just one mindful meal a day. I like giving practical tips that you can actually do today. So maybe at lunch, instead of scrolling or working at your desk, just like for 10 minutes even. It doesn't have to be an hour-long lunch, but just 10 minutes, just like putting that away and just intentionally even just take a deep breath of like, okay, I'm going to enjoy my food. I'm going to taste, the textures and just what I'm actually eating.
Okay, that's a very good idea. It's kind of being intentional with the food that you're eating. When you're talking about the problems that distracted eating can cause, is it just something that can add up over time and you're sitting there at the doctor's office wondering, why have I gained, or you're on your scale wondering why I've gained this
why
weight?
Did I gain? Absolutely, yeah. You don't, because you don't get the cues when you're mindless eating. And it's that brain gut connection. And so it takes 15 to 20 minutes for your body to or your brain to be like, okay, you're full, you're okay. And so you miss out on those body cues when you're mindlessly eating, and that can lead to oftentimes overeating and then that weight gain too.
And I feel like you also have to be very intentional and say, okay, for this is what I'm eating, this is my cutoff. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And even just so if you are enjoying some popcorn, for your movie, putting it in a bowl and being like, okay, this is what I'm going to enjoy, as opposed to, just having the bag sitting in front of you.
Okay. Now, if anyone is, because obviously Kara is a wealth of knowledge, if people are trying to get more information from you, where can they find that?
Yeah, so you can go to my website, lifewelllive.fitness, or I'm on Instagram at Kara Swanson.
She's a good follow on Instagram, I'll tell you that. That's one of the pages. That's the website.
That's my
right
website.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Love it.
We're trying to show it off. All right, Kara, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You bet.